That Hashem, Parachat Kitisa. In this week's parasha, it's the famous parasha where Moshe Rabbeinu is going up to receive the Torah, right? We got Aseret HaDibrot, 10 Commandments, and then Moshe was supposed to go up to the mountain. So he went up for 40 days lekabel et Torah. So it says over here that Moshe Rabbeinu is telling Am Yisrael that he's going to return in 40 days with the Torah. So the Torah says in the Chelek Hasheni, the second part, Vayar Ha'am ki boshesh Moshe laredet min ha'ar vayikael ha'am Aaron v'Moshe. By the way, before we start, you're going to see that the parasha, the first aliyot, Rishon v'Sheni, is much longer and larger than any other parasha. Usually parasha you have 10 pesukim, 15 pesukim. Over here it's like half a parasha, Rishon v'Sheni. So the commentaries ask, how come? Right? How come it's so long? The Rishon is very long, the Sheni is very long. So it says that Asur la'alot laTorah ba'al mum, ba'parasha shel ba'alei mumim. When you read about certain mumim, certain defects, physical defects, you cannot bring somebody, right, that has such a mum. When you read in the Torah, lo tegalech betar, you're not supposed to shave with the blade, and this guy, you know, he shaves with the blade, אתה מבייש אותו, you're embarrassing him. אל תעלו אותו בפרשה הזאת. תעלו אותו במקום אחר, in another place. Over here, it says that all the Shevatim, not everybody, but all the Shevatim, directly or indirectly, they participated b'Chet HaEgel. The only tribe that didn't participate in Chet HaEgel was Levi, which includes also the Kohanim. So since Levi and Kohen were the only tribes that didn't participate, so Chachamim divided the parasha in a way that you finish reading Chet HaEgel, and then the rest of the parasha is read by Israel. למה? שלא לבייש את בני ישראל שהשתתפו, that were participating in Chet HaEgel. אז רוב הפרשה, after Chet HaEgel, is read by Kohen and Levi. Because they're the only one, they're not embarrassed. Their great parents did not participate in this.
אבל גם מישראל, ספרו לו 5,000, לא שכתוב.
3,000.
3,000 כתוב.
Yeah.
כבוד הרב, שאלה. מאיפה משה לדעת
אפילו לא
שהוא
חצי
הולך
אחוז.
40 יום?
שאמר לו.
40 יום.
כן, Hashem told them he's going for 40 days, right? So he told Am Yisrael, I'm going for 40 days, and I'm going to bring the Torah.
מהפעם אני אחזור.
So Rashi says, the Torah says, Vayar Ha'am ki boshesh Moshe lared min ha'ar. Moshe was delaying to come down from the mountain. מה קרה בושש? אומר, כשעלה משה להר, אומר רש"י says, when Moshe Rabbeinu went to the mountain, אמר להם לסוף 40 יום אני בא, בתוך 6 שעות. אבל סבורים שאותו היום שעלה מן המניין הוא, they thought the day שעלה, ביום שעלה, ו' סיוון, או ז' סיוון, depending how you learn it, so it's included in the 40 days. But באמת, רש"י says, it's not included, למה? כי צריך להיות שלמים, מ' יום וללא עמו. The 40 days start at the night. So he went up in the day. So the 40 days started when? The next day. And they counted Vav Sivan as day 1. But since the night was not included, it's not a full day. 40 yom shlemim. And that was the mistake. Boshesh, Bashesh, already 6 hours more than they expected. Velo ba. So Allah bezayin Sivan, Rashi says Zayin Sivan Allah. נמצא יום 40 בי"ז תמוז, בט"ז תמוז, the day of 16 of תמוז, בא השטן וערבב את העולם. The Satan came and mixed up the world. מה ערבב את העולם? עשה חושך, Rashi says, he like darkened the sky, ואמר להם, איפה משה רבנו? Where is משה רבנו? אמרו, לא יודעים, he went to get the Torah. He says, no, משה רבנו מת, חס ושלום, right? So יראה להם, he showed them, Moshe mutal b'mita. Moshe is lying in a bed, and he brought the bed in the air. Everybody saw Moshe. Wow, וזה משה האיש. This is Moshe Rabbeinu. He died. So we're waiting for him. Right away, they got up. Right? They got up, and they say, ויקהל על הארון, ויאמרו אליו, קום עשה לנו אלוהים אשר ילכו לפנינו. We need a new leader. Moshe Rabbeinu died. We need a new leader. So come, get up and do Elohim. Okay. You cannot wait. First do חד ושלום, אם מת, לא עושים שבעה? You don't do שבעה? Wait שבעה, wait 30. Right away you put somebody else, right? And who says you're right? Oh, because we see. because we see, right? You see, that's the koach of the Satan. השטן מראה דברים לאנשים, he shows people things, and they see. אני רואה, I can see it, so I cannot deny it, right? We're going to see soon, they should have thought, הקו המחשבה, the thinking line should have been on another angle. We're going to see soon. But first of all, it's not the first time that this thing happened. This thing happened with Chava and the Nachash. The Nachash, which was the Samech Mem, right? He came to her, למה את לא אוכלת, why not eating, דחף אותה, he pushed her, right? This thing happened to אברהם אבינו. שהיה הולך לעקדה, he went to the עקדה, בא השטן, קם לשטן, איפה אתה הולך? He says, I'm going, Hashem told me to, he says, what? After 100 years that you had a baby, now you're going to slaughter him? מה קרה לך? It's not normal. Maybe Hashem didn't mean that. He's trying to push and he's trying to push. It doesn't work. What does he do? Says Midrash, נהפך לנהר. He became like a big river. Avraham, the Satan becomes like a big river. And Avraham says, I'm going. He's going and the water comes up to his nose, right? And he started to pray to Hashem, right? Ki higiu mayim ad nafesh. The water got to, right? And then the Satan let go, right? And Avraham was מתפלל. The Chachamim say, לא התפלל עבורו. He didn't pray for him. He prayed for Eliezer and Ishmael. Because their emunah was not so strong. So he was scared. They're going to say, okay, let's go home. Right? He was all the way. Avraham was all the way. Right? But he was praying to Hashem, ki ba'u mayim ad nafesh, so Eliezer and Ishmael shouldn't say the last minute, oh, let's go back home. Right? So he prayed for them. Then, another time, Yaakov Avinu, he's coming back to Eretz Israel. The malach comes at night ונלחם איתו. ויאבק איש עמו.
המלאך ההוא זה גם אותו השטן?
זה השטן, כן. שרו של עשיו, זה השטן. Right? So he comes and he fights with Yaakov Avinu. מה רוצה ממנו? What does he want from him? He's trying to convince him not to study as much as Torah. Right? משתדל עמו, משתדל, מנסה לשכנע אותו, tries to convince him, you know, you're learning too much, you're tired, you have 12 kids, you have to help your wife, you this, you that, you know, he's trying, and Yaakov Avinu is standing strong. He's standing strong, right? Why is all this? All this is because in Ma'amad Har Sinai, they reached the top. They reached Adam HaRishon Lifnei HaChet. They reached to the level of Adam HaRishon Lifnei HaChet. Means if they reach the top, they wouldn't die anymore. לא היו מתים. Adam HaRishon Lifnei HaChet, חי לעולם. They would reach the top, they wouldn't die. So the Satan is doing everything now to bring them down. Satan is trying to bring Avraham Avinu down. Why? Because if he has emunah, his children are going to have emunah. 6 million people are willing to die for the Torah in the camps of concentrations, you know? So if Avraham Avinu is not strong, his children are going to be strong, right? Yaakov Avinu, if Yaakov Avinu wouldn't be strong, his children wouldn't study as much as Torah, right? So they had to stand strong. But what happened to Am Israel? What they were thinking, right? So they say, unfortunately, they were rushing. When you rush, you do mistakes. I want to tell you a story, but this story is going to really be related to this. There was a big posek. Everybody will learn it. Almost every time in Shulchan Aruch, Marshal, Rabbi Shlomo Loria, one of the biggest poskim Ashkenazim. The Rama constantly brings the Marshal, right? Everybody brings the Marshal. It was a big summit in the world of Torah, right? One time in his community, Bakila Shelo, in his community, right? Lublin, right? And this story, by the way, is said over by Rav Meir Shapira in Lublin. The story was said over from the Rav Meir Shapira in Lublin. Miyased Daf Hayomi. He said, one time in the city of the Marshal, there was a couple, a young couple, and unfortunately, the wife died. Before, they were just married, and she fell sick and she died. The Marshal saw the man, he saw him one day on the street, and he saw it was atzuv, it was sad. Why? Hashem, you're young. He says, no, he has a problem. I said, what the problem? He says, the problem is, before his wife died, she made him shake her hand and swear to her he should never get married. So the young man, his wife was dying, so he felt bad for her. So he shook her hand, ונשבע לה. He swore to her, הבטיח לה, לא מתחתן. But he was a young man. He was 25, 26. He could have his whole life in front of him. So he told the Marshal, now that he did that, not only he lost his wife, he cannot get married, he cannot have kids. איך לא יהיה עצוב? How is not going to be sent? המהרש"ל thought for a few minutes. אמר לו, תן לי, give me to think about it. Call them back, he says, לך תתחתן, אתה יכול להתחתן. יש לי פסק. I wrote a פסק, I wrote a whole תשובה about it, and you can get married. He listened to the Marshal, and he got, after a few months, he found the shidduch, they made the shidduch for him, he got married. Few days after the wedding, נפטר. כל העיר, ותהום כל העיר. They said, מה? Ooh, he listened to the Marshal, means the Marshal was wrong. His psak was wrong. Look, he caused them. בלוויה, as they were taking out the gufa in the Aron, the Marshal was the Rav. He was the Rav of the city. Everybody listened to him. He said, oh, 1 second, he opened the Aron, like he didn't look inside, he opened the Aron, and he put inside הפסק שלו. הוא כתב את הפסק, הוא שם את זה בפנים, and he said, זה יעלה לשמיים עכשיו. שאני צודק, I'm right, I was not wrong by my פסק. And then ביקש מהחברה קדישה, יותר חברה, לא תכסו אותו. תשימו את הארון, put the הארון down, ולא לכסות. Don't cover it. טוב? Few hours later, הבן אדם קם, בא הביתה. His wife saw him, it's a ghost, she got scared, she ran to the house of the Marshal, everybody saw him, got scared. So the Marshal says, אין פה, my פסק is אמת. מה קרה? He davened that everybody should forget what happened. למה? His wife didn't want to take him back. היא פחדה. Maybe he's dead, she פחדה, right? So, הוא התפלל שהכל יישכח. This whole story was written in the Pinkas, in the communities. It was like a vad. It was called Vad Arba Aratzot. So this whole story was written there, right? And the Rav Meir Shapira, he said over the story. What does it mean? It means if the Marshal says, הבן אדם הזה could get married. הבן אדם הזה לא יכול למות. He cannot die, right? ככה זה יהיה. ככה זה יהיה. Why? Because פסק. This is psak. It's a decree, right? So imagine, משה רבנו, הוא אומר להם, I'm coming back in 40 days. הוא יכול למות? לא יכול למות. זה פסק. He's saying, I'm coming back in 40 days, זה פסק, הוא לא יכול למות. So they're rushing, the Satan showing them, even if you see he's in dead bed, right? He's dying on a bed, הוא אמר שהוא חוזר, הוא חייב לחזור. He must come back. Hashem told him to go out, right? So if he said he's coming back, he's coming back. So wait. אולי טעיתם. Maybe you made a mistake, right? Maybe you made a mistake. Why don't you think for a second that you made a mistake? So that's it because you think that's it. It didn't come. 40 days up. It didn't come. That's it. No. Wait, right? This is where the mistake was. The mistake was sometimes the Satan shows you things. זה ככה, אז אי אפשר לעשות שום דבר. That's it. The doctor said, יש לו כמה שעות לחיות, few hours to live, that's it. It doesn't work like this. צריך אצל בן אדם, גם הוא רואה בעיניים שלו, even if he sees, right? כוח התורה יותר גדול. Torah has a big power. So they had to have what's called אמונת חכמים. They had to believe, if Moshe Rabbeinu says, right? If Moshe Rabbeinu says that he's coming back, he must come back. Right? אז בן אדם, תמיד צריך לחשוב, right? Even if I see things, I see. It's a fact. There's no facts. In front of the Torah, there's no facts. Everything, right? Everything is going according to what Chachamim tell us. So I saw a nice thing in Rav Zilberstein brings down that Erev Shabbat, like שעה לפני Shabbat, 1 hour before Shabbat, a neighbor knocks on the Chazon Ish door. He knocks on the Chazon Ish door. כבוד הרב, you have to help me. כבוד הרב, you have to help me. מה קרה? He says in this kitchen, התפוצץ צינור מים. One of the pipes of water burst. The whole kitchen started to get flooded. אז החזון איש אומר, אני לא אינסטולטור. I'm not a plumber. מה אתה בא אליי? There's plumbers. בבני ברק is full of plumbers. אומר לו, כבוד הרב, which plumber is going to come 1 hour before Shabbat? Which is a plumber שאני... He says, איך יכול להיות? So החזון איש אומר לו, מה אתה רוצה ממני? What do you want from me? כבוד הרב ייתן ברכה, שמיים יפסיקו. I want you to give a bracha that מים יפסיקו. That water should stop. חזון איש laughed, and he gave him a bracha. Friday night, the man comes to תפילה. After תפילה, he comes to חזון איש. Thank you הרב, אני מודה לך. למה מודה לך? הוא אומר, I come back home, המים הפסיקו. There's no water, נפסק המים. תודה רבה, תודה רבה. טוב. בקיצור, שבת, ברוך השם, יהיה דגות שבת. He managed somehow. מוצאי שבת, ינק סגר חזון איש דור. דופק על הדלת. עכשיו מה? what do you want now? לא, כבוד הרב, עכשיו תברך שהמים יחזרו. That the water should come back. I have to call a plumber now. He has to fix it. So, אז הוא אומר, אתה נתת ברכה, I believe, right? I believe what you say, right? So, רב חיים קניבסקי said on that, כן? לפעמים ברכות, when I give a ברכה, even it's impossible, but if you believe, if you know, this is what's going to happen. This is what's going to happen, right? You have to believe it. If Moshe Rabbeinu says, I'm coming back, you have to believe it. If you don't believe it, yeah, kum aselanu Elohim, so you start to looking for other stuff. But if you believe, right? גם אם אתה רואה מיטה, you see a bed, and you see Moshe Rabbeinu lying in the bed, והוא נפטר וזה, אם אתה מאמין, זה לא יקרה. It wouldn't happen. גם אם אתה רואה, even if you see, you have to believe. Till the last thing, you have to believe that, right? וזה היה החיסרון. הם היו, they reached the מדרגה so high, they should have, on their level, they should have believed. They saw us, they saw Eser Makot, the 10 plagues, they saw Kriyat Yamsuf, they saw so many things. So you're coming to a point, you're about to get the Torah, and the Satan shows you the bed of Moshe Rabbeinu. מה אתה מפחד? What are you scared? You should believe it till 100%, right? You should say, okay, עוד כמה שעות, let's wait. Maybe you will make a mistake.
זה לא אומר שכולם לא רצו לחכות, אולי זה המג'וריטי
No, so you see,
אמרו, לא נחכה.
but you see that everybody says נעשה ונשמע. אם היה אחד, חיים say, אם היה אחד, one person say, I don't want to get the Torah because I don't know what's written, לא היו מקבלים את התורה. It has to be anonymously, which means 100%. All the people, men, ladies, kids, everybody says נעשה ונשמע. Means everybody was on the level.
כולל אלה שחטאו בעגל.
כן, כולל אלה. So those that sinned, they said they didn't sin, they said it's Erev Rav, or the Erev Rav pushed them, right? Right? But you are at such high level, you should have believed in it. You should not let go, right? If you are on the high level,
הם נספים בעבונה, הם בפנים, אין מה לעשות.
Okay. So they say a person should watch out, right? A person should watch out when it comes to tests, right? In Emunah, a person should know Emunat Chachamim. If Moshe Rabbeinu says, this is what's going to be, this is going to be. I want to tell you a story. There was a story how do you call it? By the time of the Noda Yehuda. The Noda Yehuda, in his town, right? One day, he was going on the street after Tefillah. He was going on the street, and what happened was that there was a little kid, a goy, who was maybe 12, 13 years old. He was crying on the street. He was a goy. Right away he saw a goy. But the Noda Yehuda went over and says, Lama ta boche? Why are you crying? So he says that his mother died, his father got remarried, and the lady that his father remarried is very mean with him. His father is a baker, so he makes like breads, all kinds of breads, and he has to sell all the breads. If at the end of the day he didn't sell all the breads, notet lo makot. She gives him makot. So he said, today was a cold day, ולא היה הרבה אנשים, there was not a lot of people. אז הוא מפחד לחזור הביתה. He's scared to go home, הוא יקבל מכות. The Noda Yehuda says, okay, כל הלחם הזה, all this bread, how much money it is? אמר לו, I don't know, $10, $20? אמר לו, כך. He gave him the money, go back home, אל תפחד, go back home. נתן לו את הכסף. He didn't buy, he's not going to eat the bread, but he gave him the money. טוב. בקיצור, he takes the money, he goes, and that's the story is finished. Many years later, right? The Noda Yehuda is sitting in his study room, לומד, 1 בלילה כבר. all of a sudden מישהו דופק, דופק. 1 o'clock in the morning, מי בא בלילה? He goes to open. He sees a young man ככה, אומר לו, can I talk to you? הוא אומר שזה גוי, מפחד, אמר לו, it's very important, I have to talk to you. He says, okay. So he tells him, כבוד הרב, you remember me? He said, no, I don't remember. He says, you remember the boy? One time you saw on the street and I told you my mother is mean and that. Oh, yeah, I remember. Oh, Hashem, how are you? He says, listen to me. He says, my father got together with some people and they're planning to kill the Jewish community. So what do you mean to kill the Jewish community? He says, right now you have the holiday, Pesach. And Motzei Chag, you all come to buy from my father in the bakery, you come to buy bread. So my father with a few friends, they decided to poison the bread. And when you guys are going to come buy the bread, all of you, you're going to die. Wow. He says, I'm coming to tell you this just because you saved me, I'm going to save you. Noda says, thank you very much. And the boy left. Azav. How am I going to do this? How am I going to... כל הלילה היה חושב, he was thinking, how is he going to save the Jewish community? מה יעשה? The next day, he gives a drasha, זה יום אחרון של פסח, שביעי של פסח, זה יום אחרון, שמיני של פסח over there. He gives the drasha, he says, רבותיי, the whole night I couldn't sleep. He says, you know why? Because I looked at the calendar and they made a mistake in the calendar. They said Pesach is finishing tonight. It's not tonight, it's tomorrow night Pesach finishes. Everybody was looking. Okay. So they says, מה נעשה כבוד הרב? He says, אף אחד לא קונה לחם הלילה. Tonight no one buys bread. לא להכניס חמץ. You don't put חמץ into your house. You have to wait till tomorrow night. Everybody says, נו דה יהודה אומר, רבי יחזקאל לנדאו, שומעים לו. מה הרב אומר? שומעים. לא קנו. It was already מוצאי חג. The rabbi and few of the חשובי הקהילה, they went to the police, they said what happened. The people there were ready with the bread. They brought dogs. They gave few dogs to eat, and the dogs died. And they caught their people, right? And everybody, right away, the rumor spread and thing, right? So they said, תראה, אם לא היו שומעים לרב, if they wouldn't listen to Rav, מה אתה מדבר שטויות, calendar, אתה יודע כמה, do you know how many years they do this calendar? You think you're better than the מדפיסים? Look at this weird calendar. This calendar, all the adlakat nerot, everything is wrong. Okay? So, but people could have been, right? But no, if the Noda Yehuda said no, right? Amunat Chachamim. Whatever. Od Yom Chag. What do you mean? Everybody, you know what happens Pesach? They get to the 8th day, people already... They want to eat chametz, they want to eat the mofleta, they want to drink beer, they want to drink whiskey, right? You know, they're חנוקים כבר, כן? אז אתה אומר להם עוד יום אחד, you're choking them, right? לא, אבל הרב אמר, לא, that's it. The rabbi said no, that's it. I cannot do anything about it. That's it, I'm listening, right? You're listening, you saved your life. So if Moshe Rabbeinu tells you, you have to wait till I come. אז עוד 6 שעות. אוקיי, אז בא 6. עברו 6 שעות, and think, אז זהו? אז שוברים את הכלים, that's it, we say that's it, עשה לנו אלוהים, bring us another leader, זה היה הבעיה. אם היה אמונה, חכמים, so they wanted, נעשה ונשמע, they wanted to get the Torah, everything, right? אבל היה חסר קצת באמונת חכמים. They were lacking a little bit of חכמים. To tell you sometimes, even if you see, in your eyes, you see, מיתת משה רבנו, you see, oh, maybe he's wrong, it's not like this, right? אם אתה מאמין, doesn't make a difference once you see. It's going to be what you believe. Right? אם אתה מאמין שהצינור יפסיק לזרום מים, יפסיק לזרוק מים. Okay? That's it. We have to have the אמונה חכמים עד הסוף. If we have this אמונה, right, we can reach the level of אדם הראשון לפני אחר. את השם שיזכנו, אמן כן יהיה רצון.